Da, 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 da. Am I gonna be like one of those channels who like every time you start live, let's see, you don't know what's going on? All right. Badoom, badoom, badoom. So I'm gonna wait a second before everybody jumps in. So if you're watching this in post, you're gonna have to find the right time stamp and stuff. Oh my gosh, it's been a long day. But I'm gonna try to quickly summarize a couple things that I'm working on because everybody's been asking me. And these channel posts are not really reaching people as I would like it to, especially considering how many views some of my videos have been getting lately have been really, really good. So I'll recap this a couple times as people kind of come in. Feel free to ask a couple of questions and stuff. But the main reason I came on here was to talk about what I've been kind of working on with this YouTube channel and with other stuff, and how crazy life has been, as it always is as a musician. And if you guys have any questions and stuff, that's cool too. Um, so the main reason I came, yeah, that's kind of the ordeal that I'm kind of working through with everything. So, um, the first thing is I've been very, very busy lately with a lot of different stuff. The first thing is I've been teaching like crazy lately. It's been really, really fun, but it's been really, really exhausting. Um, my days basically go, at least in the first part of the week, I teach for pretty much the whole day with very little breaks. I basically go on Mondays, I teach a ton, and then Wednesdays I teach a ton, and then Tuesdays I have kind of a half day, and then Friday and Saturday I also have that half day because nobody wants to take lessons at night, right? So yeah, that's kind of the ordeal with my teaching schedule. Um, you know, it is a lot of work and it is really busy, but it's I would say it's very well worth it in the long run. But anyways, that's the first thing that's been killing my time. The second thing that's been killing my time is honestly by far some of the other like logistics of my teaching business, so to speak, and some other stuff like the film scoring and my band and stuff like that, because that's been taking up a ton of time too. So I've been doing some more film scoring as well. That's been pretty good. I just finished doing a little short film maybe about a month ago. That was the last one. And then recently I had to pick up another one again. So that takes up a lot of time. And then on top of that, the band has also been doing a lot of stuff. We have some gigs coming up that I'm excited for. I'm also subbing for another band, and I've been learning their stuff and been practicing, and that's been good practice. So, yeah, those are kind of the main reasons why I haven't been able to upload and post certain things. But as people are coming in, I'm just gonna kind of keep talking and keep going over a couple of the same things. Mm. So yeah, in terms of things that I've been teaching, in my lessons and stuff, and like the theory stuff and everything, um, so I'm noticing a lot of people are kind of having issues with alternate picking without using the left hand. And what I mean by that is I've been learning lately that as guitarists, we often practice with both of them together, but we don't practice them separately. And practicing them separately is going to like very, very drastically help our overall playing. Okay. So when we as guitarists are playing guitar, okay, anytime you're working on your alternate picking, try doing it for a little bit without the left hand, and then when you're working on the left hand, try a little bit without the right hand. It's a really weirdly good thing to do in order to start really picking up on your speed and your accuracy and stuff like that. So yeah, that would be the first thing that I've been working on with my students. um the next couple things that I've been kind of going through is more altered chords and stuff like that, more secondary dominance and stuff, and showing people how to approach that compositionally and how to approach that with theory and stuff. Those have been really good. Some people are still, I've got a lot of new students now who are trying to grasp like the circle of fifths and the triads and the scales and stuff and all the basic stuff, because like as we know, it's like when we do start doing theory, it can get kind of hard to do other aspects. So yeah, that is partially what I've been kind of working on with my students. And anything else that we've been working on, I mean, just kind of the usual stuff of like trying to see what was I like just doing. I was like just doing some circle of fifth stuff, and I was doing yeah, let's see. Hang on, I gotta help this dude. I'm literally like helping a student right now, cause I gotta give him some theory stuff. Let's see, did I not share it with him? Boom, boom, boom. Okay. Yeah, I have a lot of students, so it's good times. But yeah, give me 1 second while I send this over. But da da da. Hey, try this link. Boom. All right. Dun 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 dun. Hey, what's up, dude? I don't know if I've heard that piece specifically by name, at least, but I do know a lot of Ravel, and I love Ravel. Um, so in theory class, we for our final exam or our final project, we had to write a report on Ravel. I forget which song it was, but it was basically a song in ternary form, and we had to basically analyze the entire thing from beginning to end, and it was just like, holy crap, it was like a nightmare. It was so it was difficult because we had to meet like a certain criteria of words and stuff, but it was really really good. Like that whole era of those composers are like Ravel, and you had to do it as well. Like I don't know what it is with Ravel, but like um most like theory teachers and composers like are obsessed with Ravel. Um and it is kind of for good reason. But yeah. Um so if you guys haven't heard of Ravel, I'd probably recommend go checking it out, because he's kind of around the WC kind of era, or what's his name, Mahler and Schumann, I guess, maybe a little bit later than Schumann, but yeah, um, yeah. If anybody has questions, you guys feel free to ask. But I'm gonna keep blabbing about um what people have been asking about, because everybody's been asking about the next video and stuff, and um I'm kind of at a slight crossroads of this channel, in a good way, because I'm so happy with the growth, and I'm happy with how many people are engaged and learning and stuff, but I'm also a little bit nervous because there's so much work to be done. And like, for example, the Megadeth video took me like forever to make, and it was really really difficult. So I'm trying to figure out a good schedule for myself. Being like a full-time musician, it's a lot of like work, and it's a lot of sleepless, nights and stuff like that. And, um, I am really trying to get work done for this channel, but I'm having a hard time like spacing things out and picking videos that people want to see and picking artists that people want to see. Because I know everybody's asking me for like, more Avenged Sevenfold, they're more Dimebag or like Nightwish and Opeth and all these bands. Um, and I'm trying to figure out the best method of like, okay, with one artist, how long should I make the video for? Because I'm noticing that if I make a video that's like too long, people aren't going to watch the whole thing. But if I make it that's too short, people aren't going to click on it. So I'm thinking around like a 20-minute-esque length of a video is like probably my go-to. And people want to know like what the next like artists are. And, you know, I'll say this. I have a few artists that I am contemplating on doing, and I have a script kind of outlined for a few artists, and research done for a couple of them, but I don't know which one I'm actually going to do yet. I'm making that decision this week, and the reason for that is because certain artists, I just don't have enough to say about certain artists, honestly. Like, if you want me to give you an example, like something like everybody's been asking me for the Dimebag Darrell stuff, and I'm not a Pantera hater or anything and stuff, and I like some of their songs, but I feel like there's just they weren't around for very long, you know? Like and with the material that he released, since they was kind of like the 90s and stuff, like a lot of the stuff that he did, at least in terms of like the theory, was very like kind of that like blues kind of sort of blues metal, I guess you can call it. And there's not a ton that I can honestly say about it. The genre itself that they invented was really good because it was like that groove metal sort of style. But that's one of those artists that I'm like, I'm not sure if I can make a really, really lengthy, long video about him. We'll see how it goes though. I've been listening to a lot of artists, new and old, and seeing which artists I can actually do that's going to fill up some time, So definitely not going to do Metallica. I'm sorry about that, but like doing a Metallica theory documentary would just be ridiculous. I would have next to nothing to say, in a nice way too. Like I like Metallica, but like in terms of their theory aspects, I could give you between 5 seconds. Just play an E minor, standard tuning, E minor scale, blues scale, pentatonic scale, write good hooks, and that's pretty much it. And that's Metallica. And I like Metallica, but in terms of their theory aspects, it might have been a better band to go through their like compositional aspects or their songwriting and their like lyrical aspects, but I'm not the guy for that. So let me talk about what am I up to tonight. Today was just like all teaching. I haven't done anything today except teaching, which really sucks. I had a very small workout this morning, like ridiculously small, but I was very, very tired. So but that's okay. But yeah, that was pretty much what I did today, is taught for most of the day, but and just worked on some other stuff. But other bands that I am kind of contemplating doing, I can give you like a list of them right now. Honestly, I'm kind of thinking Arch Enemy. I'm really thinking Arch Enemy. I think Arch Enemy is awesome. I think they're kind of underrated, and I feel like a lot of people would really like Arch Enemy because they're like the death metal band right now, and they're awesome. They do a lot of really cool stuff in some of their music. Now, excuse me, their newest album is like their newest album is like not as good as I had hoped, but it's still okay. But I like Arch Enemy a lot. Are you into any more technical? Oh man. So the technical stuff. Who was I just listening to the other day? One of my students showed me this like crazy technical death band. Oh frick, what were they called? It was some like it was some like really like one of those really rough like All right. I don't know how to pronounce this, and I don't want to try to pronounce it because I'm going to sound really weird if I say it. But this is the this is the band. I don't know. That's the band name. I don't know what they're called, but like they make crazy technical stuff. Oh, what's up, Joe? Um, those guys are nuts though. Like if you want to hear some like really hard to play like crazy stuff, I would 110% recommend them. They only made like one album. But they're good. So yeah. That's kind of part of what I guess my technical stuff, but yeah, I'm thinking so as I've been saying, like for my next sets of like songs and stuff, or like videos, Arch Enemy. Okay, I don't even think I put that in like the list of things to like vote on. And when I do those voting polls, I do that so that way I get a better idea of like what style. Um, I'm thinking Opeth is another good one to do. Um, there's a lot. I'm thinking like I can go for some Christ Nightwish, of course. Evanescence. I've always wanted to do Trivium, maybe Lacuna Coil in this moment. There's so many like new bands that I want to do. Yeah, you can ask me. You can ask me whatever, dude. Um, yeah, I want to maybe. I don't think I'll do a Slipknot. There's not really enough to say about them in terms of like theory. Remember, I'm like, Einstein Kills. Um, honestly, I would be willing to do another Children of Bodom video. I was thinking about that the other day, and I like the video that I made, and a lot of people like it, but I feel like I can just like, I feel like I could just go all out on that band. They're just so unbelievably good that I feel like with Children of Bodom, I can just go. Every single song has like something crazy cool to me, at least. So, um, yeah, those are some of the bands that I'm considering. Maybe Avatar would be kind of cool. Um, you know, maybe if I'm feeling Within Temptation someday, maybe. But I'm trying to get more into the new band stuff like In Flames. I'm trying to get more into that death metal sort of era because yeah, yeah, so that's kind of it for my list of bands and stuff. There's a couple new bands that I'd recommend, like Cellar Darling. They've got some weird stuff. Um, Maybe some old bands too. Like I might do another Ozzy video with about like Jakey Lee. Um, I might do Christ some like I don't know Michael Schenker or something. Um, what's your favorite riff or lick that you created? Oh man. Favorite riff or lick? I don't know, honestly. That's hard. There's some new stuff that my band and I have been writing that I've been really liking lately, so I would probably be leaning towards one of our new ones. But in terms of like stuff that's out, I mean, I've always liked the riff. There's a song called Left Alone. And I think that the chords are really awesome. That's one of my band songs. Sometimes I'm just like, oh no, it's the best riff that I wrote was Cranberry Sauce. That's what it is. Um, yeah, definitely Cranberry Sauce. If you want to hear it, there's the link for you. If you want to hear the riff, I always liked it. I always thought it was nice and bouncy and fun and fast. And every time we play it live, it seems like a lot of people really like it. So, I really always liked that one. Yeah, but um, but anyways, yeah, ask any questions. I don't care if it's theory related, if it's random related. I don't really care. But in the meantime, I'm just gonna kind of keep blabbing. So keep asking questions. Other new bands that I've been checking out. Oh geez. Honestly, I haven't really been listening to a lot of metal lately. Like being serious, like the amount of metal that one can take in a given day from being like a professional, I guess you can call it, musician is like kind of small. Like for at least for me it is. Like um when I'm like just jamming out for fun, I'm honestly I've been listening to a lot more like alternative rock, pop punk, pop, singer songwriter. Like I'm being serious. I've been listening to a ton of classical as I always do, film scores, um, I don't know, like Lil Peep, I don't know, the same stuff I always listen to. Um, so yeah, not a lot of metal on me lately, and I am very happy about that because if you listen to too much of one genre, you're really gonna start to sound the same. So highly recommend that you don't do that. It would not be a very good thing to do. Um, yeah, so that's my recent bands thing that I've been listening to. If you want any recommendations for any like music to listen to outside of metal and outside of classical, because I know those are like the two genres that I talk about like all the freaking time. Firstly, film scores. There's 50 bajillion film scores that are really awesome lately. The film scores of modern horror have been really, really good. A lot of people have been complaining about the fact that like modern scores don't have like a center theme, and they definitely do, but we're past that era where like a theme isn't just like a piano, of like, hitting like three creepy notes or something like that. We're in this era where we're doing very artistic and weird sounding scores. Um, so I would recommend on that stuff a little bit. In terms of any other stuff though, Christ, like I think that if you're listening to pop stuff, like I would say hyper pop is probably like something that really you guys should get into. Um, you know, I don't think I'm like really a hyper pop like fiend right now. Where I can name you like a bunch of bands to try out, but like whenever I will like put on like a hyper pop playlist or something, it's like it really does get you pumped, but it also really does show you that like kind of the progressive side of music is in all kinds of genres. So it's kind of like it almost sounds like progressive like metal genty, but for pop. It's crazy. It's got great drops. It's got so many awesome things. So hyperpop is a must for metal musicians for sure right now. Um if you are into weird composer stuff, Christ, let me see what I've been listening to lately for my weird composer stuff. Um if you like weird like kind of creepy piano stuff, where was that one dude that I've been listening to? Where are you? I'll find him later. But yeah, like listen to what's his name? Arvo Parts. He's really good. Um he's got some really nice long tone choral pieces and stuff like that. Um would highly 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 recommend. Um yeah. So otherwise though that's mostly what I've been listening to. Um yeah, so keep asking questions for anyone that's here. But yeah, I'm trying to think of anything else that I've been kind of like noodling with and thinking about and doing in life and stuff. This I'll show you my picks. Mm. I'm all out of water and I've been talking all day. Not good. I'm gonna show you my picks with my camera for people for showing my students my picks. So if I had to like recommend like life or death, what pick would you use for the rest of your life? It would probably be I'm not affiliated with any brands or anything like that for picks, but like um the Ernie Ball Prodigies, just the standard pick is so freaking good. It's shocking how good it is. Um the size of it is not too small and it's not too big, okay? It's so unbelievably perfect. I can't describe to you how good it is. I found it off of the Not that it's rare or anything, but I found it at Guitar Center, and I was like, oh, that looks kind of cool, because I used to use John Petrucci picks, and they are good. I still really like John Petrucci picks, but I don't think they're as good. You can see the size comparison. The John Petrucci, let me see if I can make this a little bit better. I'm in such a weird angle. The John Petrucci picks are a little smaller, but granted, I just think Ernie balls are better. I don't know. But I thought that Petrucci was affiliated with Ernie Ball. I don't know, but they might be the same brand. I don't know, or company or whatever. Okay, I got a theory question. Can you explain counterpoint again? It's confusing the hell out of me lately, but I know it will sound crazy good once I learn how to use it. Yeah. So, I'll go back to my picks in a second. So, counterpoint. So the word, first you need to think about the word, okay? Because people will over describe counterpoint, but all counterpoint is one voice goes up, one point goes down, okay? So your higher strings or your higher what would you call it? Your higher notes will go up and then your lower notes will come down, okay? So if you write a lick that is ABC going up, your bass voice should go something like, I don't know, EDC, right? It needs to go down. So one goes up, one goes down. You don't have to do it that way, though. You can flip it, and you could do one goes down on the lower voice, and then one goes up on the higher voice. So now, piano players can do this very easily because your hands have more spots to do it. Guitar, it's a lot harder, okay? That's why a lot of classical guitar, part of why we don't use it anymore is just because it's an old style, but nonetheless, it's still the same ordeal. So when you look at stuff on classical guitar, like Bach stuff, counterpoint is so prominent because it sounds so good. Now, one goes up, one goes down. Your higher voice can go up or down, but your lower voice has to do the opposite of that movement. Do the intervals have to be the same? No, not necessarily. If the higher voice goes up in steps, like let's say it just goes up from A, B, C, then the other one does like E, C, G, like a triad or something in the lower voice, that's fine too. That's still technically, if you do it in the correct order, not like I just did, it will work. Okay? So opposites of each other. Now, how do you actually do it on guitar? That's where it gets a little bit hard, okay? Because if you write a melody on the guitar, you're going to have to write it in a spot where you can do counterpoint properly. Honestly, Bach wrote pretty much every possible thing in existence. You know, I'm not saying that, I'm saying that as like a joke, kind of, because it's not, obviously not true, but like Bach gave like the blueprint of how to write stuff for like everybody. So like when you think of things like counterpoint, look at Bach's music closely, okay? Don't just look at his organ works. Don't just look at stuff, at his violin concertos and stuff. Specifically look at his harpsichord stuff and look at his lute stuff. Those are where you're gonna have the best counterpoint. So yeah. Oh man, my voice is getting so shot. I ran out of water, which is nice. But yeah, that's kind of the ordeal of the counterpoint. I'm trying to think of like anything else that I can say about counterpoint. But anyways, I'll go back to my pick talk, cause this is, by the way, my pick holder. It's a skull, right? But we cut out the top of it, and it has all my picks in it. So now, Ernie Ball Prodigy is what we were talking about before, about like how, I don't know, for example, this is like the best one. Dude, check this out. This is weird. Look at this weird one. Look at how sharp that is. So that's literally called the Ernie Ball. I think it's called like the Sharp Edition or something weird like that. You can see the difference of the two if I hold it like this. Look at how much the one on the left is so much or this one is so much more sharp. So it's really weird. I didn't like it. I ordered it just to check it out, and I didn't like it. And I have a pack of 12 of them, and I don't use them. Um, the other ones, mm, yeah, these are not that great either. These are also Ernie Ball Prodigies. I wonder if I bought like a variety pack. I don't remember, but these are not that good. Um, Let me grab the big boys. These are the purple. What are these called? They're Dunlop. I like don't have any light in here. I forget what these are called, but they're 3 millimeters, so they're really thick. If you can see like how thick that is, that's like pretty ridiculous for a pick. I used to use it a lot. It's honestly, I would put it up in the like A tier. I think it's really good. Um, and other than that, though, let's see. We've got the Guitar Center pick. That's like a D tier pick. It's pretty bad. I guess I'm doing a tier list of picks. Let's see what else I got. This does not feel like a 1 millimeter, but that one's okay. That's like a probably a B. Yeah. Oh hey, I found another one of my OG ones. Huh. May make sure I don't lose that like all my other ones. And then this is like the standard like little one. This one's pretty good. It's like a B tier, but it's a little too small for me. Do you play any other instruments besides guitar? So I'm gonna say no, but I can make my way around certain instruments with the theory knowledge that I have. So if you catch me on a piano, I can figure things out. If you catch me on a violin, it will not sound good, but I can figure a few things out with the theory knowledge, if that makes sense. I can play bass a little bit, you know. I wouldn't consider myself a bass player. I would never consider myself a piano player because I always say this, like, a common thing for us musicians, especially composers, is we shift and we drift from like one instrument to the other like constantly. And it's not good, okay? So when that's kind of the case, you drop down in your skills of your main instrument. So if I'm a guitar player and I end up trying to play piano, then drums, then like bass, and then violin, all my skills are going to go down just because I'm taking up more time to do other instruments. Okay? So, yeah, that's kind of the ordeal of that. Yeah, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go get a water, and then I am going to keep answering questions. So I'll be right back. Boom. There we go. All right. If you have. Oh, geez. If you had to pick and learn a different instrument, what would it be? Oh, my God. That's hard. I love the guitar so much that I just don't. I just don't see myself like necessarily loving another instrument like guitar, but if I really had to, like if I was like held at gunpoint or whatever, it would either probably be the violin or the piano, because I feel like I would be leaning towards the piano, because I feel like a lot of reasons. One, I feel like it's financially a good decision, because I feel like the piano will always be needed in some sort of environment. Despite the fact of MIDI, I think that having a live piano player at a restaurant or in an orchestra is something that you kind of need. In piano lessons, like the most common lessons for a child, uh when you like have a kid and stuff, it's like, oh, I want to put my kid in piano lessons, and it's like, so financially I would say the piano makes the most sense of making money aside from guitar. Also, piano is, I feel like if I go to somebody's house, they're more likely to have a piano or a keyboard than a guitar. I just feel like it's more common. I don't know. That would be my 2 cents on which it is. So I guess piano. You know, I like a lot of piano music, so I would probably go with that. So let me take a chug. Ah, but yeah, imagine if that was alcohol. Just kidding. I don't drink. But yeah, you can feel free to keep asking me questions. I'm probably gonna do this for at least another half hour, something like that. But those are all my picks. I used to have some really weird picks that I honestly really wanted to show you guys. I wonder if I still have it. Come on, where is it? Ah, haha, I found it. This is called the Goonis pick. It is the worst pick ever, and I'm sorry to the brand Goonis. Maybe they have better kinds. Maybe I just got like a bad, like one of their bad ones, but like look at this. I got to really make sure you guys see this. Like, who could use something that like looks like this? It's just so strange to me. So this was actually not mine. A student actually gave this to me. When I saw him in person, it was nice of him because he gave me a bunch of picks. But like, here we go. Look at it from a view of the side. It's so like, I don't want to swear, but it's so effed up. Like, oh man. Personally, if I had to pick a different instrument, it would be the hurdy-gurdy. I love the hurdy-gurdy. The hurdy-gurdy is one of the most like underrated instruments from that era, from the medieval era, but they are very hard to come by. They're very expensive, and but they sound really really cool. So, oh, I got this one. So, brought up the hurdy-gurdy. So, I mentioned a band called Cellar Darling. Um Dude, these guys are so unbelievably good. Oh my god. So they're not going to be like super heavy like screaming. They're going to be very like kind of like weird, like artsy, progressive, kind of like folky, but still metal, like still like distorted guitars and weird stuff, but they are so shockingly good. Because the vocalist, she uses a hurdy-gurdy live and on the track. So it sounds so good. Personally, their top hit is Avalanche, and I think it's an okay song, but I think their 2019 album is so good. I don't think I listened to this EP, or did I? Um yeah, that's another thing too. Hurdy-gurdies are expensive. Here's what you can do. The band is the link that I posted. You should check them out. But yeah, hurdy-gurdies, they're so expensive. They're so expensive. It's just so absurd. Um, so yeah. Trying to think of like anything else that I've been kind of up to lately. Um, I feel like I just look so tired. It's been a long week. And it's only Monday. I guess the week's kind of carrying over a little bit, but yeah, that's Cellar Darling. I listen to them a lot. They're really awesome. If you got a vocal friend who likes to sing and stuff, tell that person to try Cellar Darling because it's so unbelievably difficult. Um, it's just absurd. But yeah. What else I gotta say? Oh. I'm like also trying to like low key tire myself out because I'm like trying to get up a little bit earlier than I usually do for the next little while, so I want to go to bed reasonably early. So that's kind of why I'm trying to do this. Yeah, some people have been asking me too, like if I can do more like live streams and stuff. I would love to. I really would love to. It's beginning to be really hard for me to keep up with live streams because of how busy I am. But I would really like to do that sometime in the future if I had a wider audience and more engagement and stuff. But like, I was trying to do it every Wednesday, but Wednesdays, like literally, I think I have like 9 students that day or some ridiculous like number or something. So maybe I'll do Monday nights. I don't know. Usually Mondays are like people's worst days where they don't want to like exist because Mondays just suck for whether you're in school or you're going to your job. It's like Mondays are designed to want us to not exist, but I don't know. Mondays might be the day to do it to cheer people up. But yeah, feel free to ask me questions as I keep kind of talking about things. Cuz I've been kind of laying down the bands that I'm trying to do, and I'm super excited to start doing the next one because it's going to be a death metal band, and I'm really excited to do it. Again, I want to repeat, people have been asking me about Dimebag, and I feel bad about putting Dimebag in the category of like, oh, what band should I or what artist should I do? And everybody's like, please do Dimebag. And I don't know yet if I'm going to do Dimebag. I have some stuff written for a Dimebag video, but it seems to be that I'm running out of things to say and I don't want to keep repeating certain things over and over again. So yeah, that's my answer to the Dimebag thing. But nonetheless, like I want to make sure that like I know a lot of my audience right now is like they like the old school stuff, but I want to show them that there's so many good new bands out there now, but I also want to show all my newer viewers that there's a lot of good old school stuff too. So I'm trying to do a mix of the two right now is kind of what I'm doing. I can get rid of this. Wee. Yeah. Um ask questions, ask away. Oh, Jesus Christ. If I did Polyphia, like, oh god, that would get views though. People are Polyphia fans are nerds. Um like Polyphia fans are such nerds and I love it. So maybe I will do a Polyphia. I'm going to write that down. Polyphia. That is so tempting now. Now that you said Polyphia, I'm like, huh. Polyphia. Cuz I could title it like The Music Theory of Tim Henson, or I could title probably saying Polyphia on there. I feel like would trend more. Um but thank you guys for following me on Instagram, by the way. Um I noticed that after I posted something about my Instagram, I got like a bit of followers from YouTube, and thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah. Um let me tell people I'm live. Sorry, 1 second. 1 second. Um, yeah, but what was I just gonna say? So Polyphia is one. You asked for Led Zeppelin. Sorry, I'm literally like I'm responding to people that I need to respond to. Now I'm not. Okay, but Led Zeppelin. Um, if I did a Led Zeppelin video, hmm. Here's the thing about Zeppelin, okay? And this is coming from a Zeppelin fan. Like, I genuinely like Led Zeppelin. They stole a good amount of their stuff. And I'm not calling it plagiarism, but they borrowed a lot of stuff. Like, it's really hard to call something plagiarism in music because it's like there's only 12 notes, there's only certain like beats that you can do, there's only certain things that you can do. But damn, like Led Zeppelin, there's a lot of evidence of them like borrowing a lot of stuff, and and outside of that too, like a lot of their music is, again, it's all the same stuff over and over again. It's a lot of things that I've already talked about. Um, if I did do, oh, you know what? Instead of Zeppelin, what if I do Pink Floyd? If I were to do a documentary on an old band, I would frickin' do Pink Floyd. I'm writing that down. You know what I would do with Pink Floyd? I would just go right through Dark Side of the Moon, beginning to end. That album is like one of the best albums ever. And that's like honestly an objective, like that's like a fact at this point. And I feel like everybody would like it because like it's very rare that I meet someone who says like I don't like Pink Floyd. Usually it's just people who've never like listened to them. But if you play a Pink Floyd song to someone, they'll dig it, you know. They're not like a lot of those other like classic rock bands who just kind of like faded in after like, you know, the 90s and stuff. Like everybody liked Pink Floyd from like the time they started up until now. People love them still. So yeah, but that's my Zeppelin diagnosis. If I did a Zeppelin album though, I might do Zeppelin like 2 or something. I don't know, or House of the Holy or something. That would be kind of cool. Water is good. Um, yeah. Let's see. Any unusual genres of music that you listen to? K-pop, rap, lo-fi, or pop? Um, I haven't delved into any of those a ton. I've heard some decent K-pop. You know, they're very, they like K-pop knows how to write. Like they can write really catchy stuff. So like I feel like if I do more K-pop, I feel like I would actually probably like it. Um, Rap, not too much yet. Again, has a couple of songs that I think are pretty all right. I'll take rap over country any day. Lo-fi, not really, and just generic pop. It depends on what pop. If you're talking like I would say like if you're talking Madonna, yeah. If you're talking Michael Jackson, yes. If you're talking what's that dude's name? Bruno Mars, yeah, if you consider him pop. If you can like Katy Perry, awesome. Lady Gaga, awesome. Um if you consider Christina Perry, she's like one of my favorite artists of all time to this day. She's probably in my top 5, 100%. Um if you consider like Taylor Swift pop, I would probably say no. I've heard a couple good songs from Taylor, but I'm not a huge fan. Um, yeah, that would probably be my answer to that. Um, yeah, it's amazing how much water I have to drink before I like my voice gets like kind of shot. Um, it's so strange. But yeah, keep asking questions. Like I really don't mind if it's theory related, still ask. If it's not theory related, then still ask. Um, but yeah, today was a hectic day. I really want to find like a day where I can meet up with you guys every week and talk about just like stuff like in general. Couple of things to remind too is like if you I always try to like say this in the post, but like I feel like it doesn't get to everybody is like I do teach like theory classes, like group classes. So if you ever want to just like hop in and do some work like and like just literally send me an email. Um and it would be really fun. But yeah, so what else have I been kind of into lately? Like genuinely just like looking through my liked songs. I don't know. If you want to listen to some more good Bach stuff, listen to his Saint John Passion. It's phenomenal. Um, one of my favorite classical pieces is probably uh Samuel Barber. Or Samuel Barber's Agnus Dei. It's basically the oh great. There's actually a spider on my um there's a spider on my wall. Um where'd it go? I don't know where it went. There's a spider on the wall. I wonder if it's just gonna like come up on me. But if I see it again, I'll try to show you guys with my other camera. Let's see if I can see it. Probably not. I don't really care that much. I'm not like hugely afraid of spiders or anything. Um, any crazy live band experiences such stories? Yeah, I have ones where I was playing and I have ones where I was watching. So ones that I was watching, um, let's see. There have been like times where people have just gone so out of the box crazy that it's just like things just start getting violent. Like I remember this. There was one show that I went to. I think it was like a Motionless in White show or something like that. And there was just like there were so many crowd surfers. I got kicked in the neck. Like it was just so unbelievably hectic. I've been to like shows where people are like fighting because their beer got spilled by somebody, and it's just like I've been like a lot of mosh pits and stuff. I don't stage dive. I don't really mosh a lot, but I do a little bit. Um, in terms of like just me playing like myself, yeah, like I've fallen. I think every like musician has fallen on. At least I like to think that every musician has fallen on stage. But I'm pretty clumsy. Um, that's happened before. I've tried jumping off the stage and onto the ground, and I've fallen. For whatever reason, I can't land anything. Um, yeah, I've done that stuff. I've let's see. I'm trying to think of anything else that's like really weird. I've seen like a lot of weird people like kind of doing sketchy things at shows that I probably shouldn't talk about. Um, I've driven in really bad areas that I've seen a lot of questionable people. But that's just kind of how it is. Sometimes you get a gig that's, in a weird area or something like that, and you just kind of see weird things, I guess. I've had a lot of really good ones though, like just a lot of like really good times and stuff, and like the last couple gigs that we had were really fun. So yeah. I like watching shows too. I've had a lot of really good times just going to shows and hanging out. So um yeah, that would be my stuff. Oh my goodness. I really want a standing desk. I'm so tired of sitting all day. It's just not my cup of tea, honestly. Like I'm a very active person. Um I just like the way I like work out, I like do so much physical activity I can in a day because I sit a lot of the day. So I tend to like do like really long runs, and I tend to like do a lot of martial arts and a lot of like weightlifting and stuff as much as I can, because I'm literally like, because I know that like the second I get home, I'm just gonna be in my office like chair for like the rest of the day. So um if you busy musicians want like a really good workout routine, I can kind of help you with that. So the first thing that you have to do if you want to get a good workout routine is you have to get up early. Okay? So if you're in school, it's a little bit different, but also not really. If you get up early, um let's say like you get up at 9 a.m. usually, or 8 a.m. If if you get up an hour earlier, like 7 a.m., that's more than enough time to get a decent workout in. I usually try to work out pretty much every morning, and if I don't, I'll work out at night, which is the something I don't want to do because it'll keep me up. Um, but yeah, I usually try to work out every morning. I'll do either a run, I'll go to the gym and lift weights, I'll do some sort of martial arts, either judo, by myself. I have like a dummy, and I have bands. I'll either do that or I'll go to the gym and use the kick bag and I'll do some like kickboxing or Muay Thai or just regular boxing. So yeah, so basically the hack is literally just to give yourself an extra hour to work out, right? And you don't need to use that whole hour. It depends on what you use. Sometimes like literally my workout is just a walk. Like it's just going outside and walking for like 25 minutes. Um what's my guitar practice routine? Okay. Same exact thing is I in the morning I is when I warm up, okay? So I get up early, I work out, and then I practice guitar, and then I teach. If I have something big coming up, like recently I've been practicing a lot more, I'll fit in more practicing in between the students or at night, which I don't really like doing because again, I want to go to sleep, and I want to chillax, you know, but given the fact that like if you're think about it like this, I literally am with my guitar in like a day like this. I have played my guitar the whole day today, and it's mostly been teaching. It's also been warming up this morning. Okay, that is a total of like what 6 hours of playing in total, something like that. Roughly like on and off. On a day like Wednesday, I'm gonna be playing the guitar the whole day, and I can't escape it because I just have a lot of students on Wednesdays. So get up early, go to the gym or do some sort of workout, practice guitar, and then go off on your day. If you are not like, obviously that's a weird scenario where you're like me, where you're playing guitar all the time because you're teaching. But if you're not and you're serious about really getting good at guitar, like I always tell my students, pick it up every day, but that's a giver. You got to practice every day. You should be practicing at least an hour a day minimum. But like if you want to get like crazy good, people aren't going to like the numbers that I say, but like all of my other like teachers who are like really, really good have told me like 4 hours, 5 hours, 6 hours, 7 hours, 8 hours. Like when I was in like high school, I was practicing, I don't know, maybe on a day I'd pick up for like 2 hours. Maybe I would do it for 30 minutes. I would break it up into bits, and then in total I would add it up to like 4 hours. So yeah, get up early and practice. That's what you do. Get up early and work out, and then practice. It's really easy to waste time in this day and age. It really is. I've been meaning to make a video about this. I'm trying to think about starting that second channel and talking about some of the stuff that's been on my mind about just like excuses that like my students make or excuses that I make is just like, oh, I don't have enough time. Well, what exactly are you doing in a day where you don't have like enough time to do something that you really, really want to do? Like, are you running a business that's like literally 16 hours a day you are working? Yeah, then you probably won't be able to do it. But if you're in school, or if you're, let's say you're in college and you got a job and stuff, like I literally just had a trial today, like somebody who's working a job and in school, and they're taking guitar lessons with me. It's like everybody can make time for it. So like I'm trying to like I want to make a new channel so that way I can dive into more of the just other stuff that like not stuff that necessarily annoys me, but just stuff to help people. Especially my students. It's like some of the stuff that I want to say to them, I feel like like I want to say to them, I'm like, you got to practice, 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 but like if you keep telling people to practice, then they're not going to want to do it anymore, and I like to keep it very easy with everybody and stuff and make sure that everybody really likes it. Cuz I know not everybody that in the guitar world wants to do this professionally. But still, like, you should at least try to like make guitar, like do it in your best potential, even if you're not doing it like forever. I'm sorry, not that you're not doing it forever, but you're not doing it like as a full-time musician. Like, wouldn't it be nice to just like kind of pick it up and just be like go AWOL or write something on the spot, like that's what your goals should be, you know? Um, like I've literally met, hang on one second. Oh, I'm talking too much. Um, I've literally like, yeah, I've met people who are like in their 40s and stuff and 50s, and they're like, I've been playing guitar for 40 years. And then they come to me and they're like, you're not going to, they literally will say to me, like, you're not going to be able to teach me anything. And then I see that, they got picking problems and they don't know theory and like they got all this stuff and they say that they've been playing by ear. And then I try to tell them like, oh, you should try doing this and this and this. And they're like, how am I supposed to say that? How are they going to take it when I say that, you've been doing something wrong because you haven't been in lessons? And like, teachers are important. I'm just saying, like, I take lessons on and off too. Like, it's just important. Yeah, but feel free to ask questions. So, what is the haps today? Dude, you guys are awesome for following me on Instagram. I literally, like, listen, Instagram, I have like a love hate relationship with Instagram. So, a little bit of backstory. Before, like, this YouTube channel became what it is today, I blew up on Instagram, okay? Um, I like really blew up on Instagram, and I was like, I went from having like 400 followers or like maybe not like 500 all the way up to 15,000. And then all of a sudden I wasn't able to get anything because maybe I was just not making the best videos, but thank you guys for following me. What's up, Pedro? What's up? What's up? Biggest inspiration. Oh man. Biggest inspiration. That's a really hard question to answer. Um God, biggest inspiration. Who do I like who? If you're talking about a person, um that's a really hard question. I would probably go to like one of the classical composers that I really like, just because I like the idea of maximum like discipline with music with a lot of them. Like I like the idea that like this was all their day was revolved around, was just writing really good music and teaching really good music. So I would probably say like somebody like Beethoven or Mozart maybe would be like probably my biggest inspiration, like just in general. Like I'm not speaking this on like, my metal stuff. Like obviously there are like I like Randy Rhoads and I like Michael Romeo and Paul Gilbert and all those guys, but yeah, I would probably go with those guys. So um yeah, that's a really hard question. I get a lot of inspiration from things that are like outside of just people. I get a lot of inspiration from, like, my friends and my significant other and family and stuff, and I get inspiration everywhere. And I think that's something that's like really important as artists and as musicians and just as people, is like, look for inspiration in things that are like outside of what you're actually doing. Like if you're a painter, try to look for inspiration in other things. It's, I don't know, super important. So yeah. But I'm gonna say it again. Thank you for following me on Instagram. It's the same name handle, Aiden Holm. But what I was saying is that on Instagram, I blew up from a very small amount to a very large amount in a very short amount of time, and it was awesome. But like lately, like the algorithm has been changing. Things have been really different on Instagram, and just in general, like TikTok is doing a lot better. And I like TikTok in terms of its business and its reach. So I do have a TikTok too. Um, but yeah, so I'm trying to get my Instagram back up. So if you go on my Instagram, there is so many lessons on there. It's outrageous. Like, go through it. There's a bunch of free tabs on there. There's music theory stuff, all kinds of shredding stuff, like sweeps and alternate picking, tapping, anything. Like, it's all on there. It's got some examples of just me shredding in general with the theory that I talk about. Like, so go to my Instagram and check out some of my stuff. I think you guys would get a kick out of it for sure. Um, so yeah, that's my Instagram. Um, Trying to think of anything else. So please keep asking questions. Another band, two bands. I'm gonna put in the chat, shouting out awesome bands. These guys, Elysian, they're like this gothy hard rock metal band. They're so good. Um, they're not huge, but they're getting there. They only recently made a new album than the other band. These guys are a little bit bigger. Paradise Lost. They've been killing it lately. Always like some Paradise Lost. Um, I'm just like literally sending links of bands that you guys got to check out. These are just bands that I like. Just, I don't know. Just when I'm like not trying to just shred. I just want to listen to good music for good music. Catatonia, however you pronounce it. Yeah. If there's metal bands I've been listening to lately, those are them. Oh boy, it's been a day. Tomorrow is going to be a day as well. Not as busy of a day, thank God, honestly. Um I think I have to get up like reasonably early again, just so I can, like, I don't know, exist. I think a big problem that we have is like when we don't get up early, um when you don't like get up early, you tend to stay up late because you feel like you just got up and went to school or got up and went to work or whatever, and you want to stay up later so you can just unwind and do more stuff and be yourself and scroll on YouTube and stuff, which I totally get. Just try to get up earlier. It's been so much better for my like life in my schedule. lately my some days I've been not getting up early. Uh have you ever taken a music class or school by night school? Yeah. Um so high school they did have music theory, so I did take music theory 1, and I did not know anything at this time, so it was pretty eye-opening the fact that I'm doing this now. But music theory in high school is still really good. And then um what else did I do? Oh yeah, I did some orchestra with guitar actually. They had some parts for like just random orchestra stuff like the pit orchestra, or like maybe I would play like a couple of songs. I remember for the pit orchestra they gave me some sheet music. I had no idea how to sight read when I was in high school, so I was like, I'm just going to look this up, and I did. And it actually didn't go well because they were doing an orchestral version of Jimi Hendrix Purple Haze, and I remember that the form was completely different on the orchestral version, so as you can imagine that was a disaster. Good times. So, but then by the time Pit Orchestra came around, I killed it. I was like ready to roll. I was a senior. I was sight reading, and I was getting my theory in. So, God, those were chaotic times. I was really cramming a lot. So, yeah, yeah. So, um, trying to think of like other things that I can kind of talk about. Oh man, God, it has been a long day. But yeah, feel free to ask questions. I'll probably be on for another like 10 minutes. This is the fun part about streaming. Um, uh, I wonder if I just like pretend like I'm frozen. Let's see if anybody thinks I'm frozen. Nah, I can't hold forever. But so I guess that's pretty much it. If you guys have any last minute questions, I'm gonna head out in a little bit. So ask away before I go. Um, but I'm gonna say again, update of the future. The next theory doc, if you want to know what it's going to be, I think it's going to be Arch Enemy. Okay, I'm just saying it now. I think it's going to be Arch Enemy. I don't think I'm going to do Dimebag at the moment. I may be in the future, but right now I just don't. I think that like technically speaking, like his playing and his and that stuff, I think he was actually really really good, but I think theory-wise, um I need more weirdness, to make the video interesting. That's why I did Megadeth. Um so what is the hardest subject in music theory in college? Okay, so when you say I'm gonna assume that you mean like just general, like when you go into music in college. The hardest, I'm gonna say oral skills. Okay, I'll say oral skills because I'm not a singer, and despite the fact that I do have a good ear, I have pretty good perfect pitch. Um, I can hear intervals really good. Like I'm very good with dictation too. I couldn't sing. Like they would give me sight reading stuff and I just couldn't do it. It was very very difficult for me. So I would say probably oral skills would always get me like um I don't think people realize too that like when you're in college, oral skills in music theory, you're going to have either one or the other every day or both every day. It's really, really like intense. It's like it's rough. It's not an easy thing to do. So, um, yeah, I would say that. Now, I would say a close second would be something where you get into like the more advanced theory stuff can be kind of hard for some people. You know, like if you get into like jazz theory and stuff like that, it can, if you really want to get good at jazz theory, you'll learn about like um how to use like chord extensions in 3-part harmony and in 4-part harmony, and you'll kind of learn how to do things like that. um you'll also learn like tritone substitution and like modulation and just all sorts of really weird cool stuff that I honestly wasn't super great at the time, but I feel like I understood a lot of theory as I like was graduating college. So, um, but now I'm like rereading my college theory book. I understand all of it like so well. It's really good. So, if I can recommend any theory books outside of like mine, because my theory books are really good. They're good to easy digest, and that's kind of what it's for. It's for people who just like they want to really just like get on with their theory and move on with their day. But like if you want a really advanced like thick juicy book, use the tonal harmony book. It's really really good. If you want really in-depth stuff, it's pretty much top tier. um yeah. And I believe like when asking about like my practice routine, I think you probably meant like what I practice, so I forgot to mention about that is um I would say like 99% of what I practice is just technique. Like I practice alternate picking so much. I have a couple of courses of other guitarists I really like that I'm going through. I do some classical stuff. I took a break from it because I was focusing so much on technique. But that stuff's been really good. I've got some really nice classical pieces I've been working on. Some Bach stuff, some Turenya stuff. So yeah, and if you want like other stuff like my theory stuff, like I do practice like different arpeggios and sweeps and stuff and making things spicy and do a little bit of riffage here and there, songwriting, that kind of stuff. So, mm, oh my goodness. Everything else though in music theory college is easy. Like, I mean, you're gonna have to take music history, and they're gonna make you like know what happens in the world of music, like where certain regions do certain music theory stuff, and it really isn't that hard. It's more just like understanding like the styles of different cultures and stuff, and it's really interesting and good. Like whenever I describe music theory to people, like to people who are like new to theory, yeah, study Western harmony, but like once you get theory, you should understand that music theory is just a theory, right? So other parts of the world have their own version of theory. They are usually relatively similar, but like really listen to like different cultures of music, because that's where you really learn about like the microtonal system and like overtones and like just all sorts of really cool weird stuff, new scales. um what is that one weird book of that guy who basically was trying to say that the Lydian scale should be like the center scale? I forget his name, but it's so good. It's really long and dense. I watched a couple videos on it and tried to read a little bit of it, but I'll have to buy the book because I only read like parts of it in certain spots. But yeah, any last minute cues? I'm gonna head out in just a moment here. Hmm. Last minute cues. Last minute cues. Maybe I will live stream more, honestly. Why not? I feel like it kind of keeps me a little bit busy, but I'm also exhausted like most of my life. So, yeah, I'll try. I mean, another thing that we could do too is, yeah, the stream will be saved. I'm pretty sure it just automatically uploads, um, onto everything. What we could do too sometime is like, I believe I can react, so to speak, or just watch my old videos. That would be kind of fun to do someday. Um, and just kind of like go through some of my old videos and stuff and just like just kind of seeing like um where I was back in the day. So like whenever like you look at my channel, it's like at a first glance, oh, it's like a music dissection channel or something like that. But actually, like, not even like very far away, like only like a year ago or less than a year, 9 months ago is when I started doing this stuff. So I used to make a lot of compositions that I honestly miss playing. In reality, like I really do miss this stuff, especially. Um, you know, like I think it was awesome. I don't even know if you guys can hear that. But here, let me move over so you guys can, so I can actually talk to you guys. But yeah, no, I think that like I will start doing this stuff again. Going on in the future. Oh, you guys can hear it. Okay, cool. This is by far my favorite piece that I've ever written for solo classical guitar. I miss it so much. I'm like looking at myself and I'm like, why don't I do this again? And literally the main reason is time. Like all the time that I have goes into like teaching and this YouTube channel and my band, and I miss this like literally like I emotionally miss doing this like all the time. I just miss the excitement of making like melodies for solo classical guitar. I think it's just awesome. Let's keep looking around. This is fun. Yeah, some of these are pretty all right. This is a classic. Side note, are you hearing how crisp and thick and juicy that classical guitar sounds? I think it sounds awesome, honestly. I really like it. I don't know. I just really miss this a lot. That whole arc of what I'm playing is based off of, I think I wrote it back when I was in this like old band in high school, and I wrote these really nice like D minor style chords. I just I'm having a hard time listening to it because it makes me want to do more of it. Um, but I've always been worried to like upload it because I don't think anybody cares about this sort of style anymore. But I have more stuff written. I have all this tabbed out too. Like I know how to play all this stuff. It's all written somewhere, the tunings and stuff. Um, God, I miss it so much. It's like just hearing it, I'm just like, ugh. This is why I don't listen to metal as much anymore. I love this stuff. Like, some of my music I don't like as much. Like, there are certain pieces that I think I probably could have done better on. Like, there's Sleeping in a Box or whatever it was called. Yeah, there's a couple of these that I wasn't too crazy about, and the way I recorded some of them were not my best work. There's Midsummer. I remember this one was pretty alright. Oh, this is the guitar track. Where's the actual track? There it is. Like, I already hear in the audio, like, I wish I could do this better again, which I probably could. I hear a slight static, and I know it's why is because I didn't have a condenser mic, and I used this to record the classical, and I had to crank it up, and it probably caught some background noise for sure. Do you hear how she sang that B natural there in C minor? She kind of like, she hit, I remember my comp teacher told me that like she hit like a weird microtone in between like the note B and C, and it sounded really cool. Yeah, I missed that one a lot. That one was really fun. Am I ever gonna do covers? I'm gonna say no, because I don't really get a joy out of doing any covers anymore. I haven't done a cover in a really long time. So yeah, that's my answer to that. There's a lot of really cool stuff on my old channel that I wish people would hear. I used to make a lot of horror soundtracks. Like I think when I listen to this stuff, I get a lot of nostalgia of how I was back then. And I'm not saying that, oh, I wish who I was, you know, like that stuff. But like when I was this young, like this is like me when I was like in college and I had so much more time, you know? Um, so I think that's what's giving me that like extra whiz of nostalgia. So it's pretty interesting how music does that. It's like every time you listen to songs that you haven't heard in a while, it really does bring you back. And now I'm remembering like how it was, um, back in those times. It's crazy. Um, God, I used to make some weird junk though. Like, this is who I used to be. Do you guys see this picture? It looks like a ghost, like a really like weird looking ghost talking to each other. It's interesting. I don't know. If you want to see some of my older videos, I think this was my first old one. I composed this on just Finale, and it's just the MIDI from Finale. it's all right. It's a good start, you know. You got to start somewhere. But yeah, maybe one day I'll react to some of my older videos. Like I know this video, like I want to react to some of the comments that people write cuz they're really funny cuz a lot of people are complaining about EVH versus Randy. Where was it? Somebody started something in here where they were like, what did somebody say? I don't know. Somebody said that, gosh, I can't remember what it was. It was somebody who said something along the lines of like Randy is like EVH is jealous and all this, and it started a giant war. So it's crazy. Yeah. So yeah, just a little taste of what I used to do. But all right, well, I am going to go now. It has been a long night and I need to get some rest. So I'll try to do this again more throughout the week. And again, I'm saying I'm going to try to. I'm actually going to try to and find a good time to do it. It doesn't seem like there's as many people, but I'll see you guys.